Anyone tells you Instagram, I built my entire business off of Instagram ads. So my dream has always been to have a business academy. And when I started Black Sunflower, from the beginning, I knew that as much as I like candles, this is not going to be my end all. And because a lot of people have the misconception that Black Sunflower just survives off of blacksunflower.com, and that is a lie. Black Sunflower survives off of I have a lot of changes, and this camera right here, this one?
Yeah.
All right. So, and a lot of people are going to be shocked. They're like, what? And I'm explain. So.
Besa Gordon here. So today I do actually have a special guest with me, and she's very special because she's actually one of my friends, so it's going to be really interesting to interview a friend of mine, which is something that I don't do a lot. And when I say friend, I mean like I talk to this woman for like 3-4 hours sometimes a day. Maybe I'm being a little dramatic, but definitely an hour or two from time to time. Either who, her name is Jazz, okay? She is actually the owner of Black Sunflower, which, as you guys know, it happens to be a candle company. I know it to be more than candles. I know that it's candles. It's freaking oil. You guys are always asking me what I'm wearing. I'm typically wearing her honey oil. And then you also have her academy where she's teaching you all how to not only make your own candle companies, but also just how to make your own company in general, okay? So I'm going to bring in my good sis, Jazz. How are you doing?
I am doing wonderful. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Of course. We've been talking about doing this for a minute.
Oh, God, so long.
And we finally have you up here. But I feel like this is good timing to have you up here, being that you have some new things going on. You have new products. You have new businesses that you're starting. You're moving things around. We have a lot going on. But
a whole lot.
For the people that are a little slow in the back, let's start from the beginning, okay?
Oh, gosh.
And I don't even, let's start from the beginning. First and foremost, for those that don't know what Black Sunflower is, let us know a little more about Black Sunflower.
Okay, so first of all, Black Sunflower started from a place of being uncomfortable. COVID hit. I went to go pick up my son, and they were like, don't bring him back. I'm like, what do you mean don't bring him back? What am I supposed to do? I need to work. And so I'm home moping around, and I'm looking at all these candles because previously I started making candles as self-care. And so I was like, you know what, let's just throw these up on a website, make some money. Threw them up first week, cleared like $1,500. I said, okay, cool. I think I have something here. So my main thing with starting candles in the first place was coming from a point of self-care. I started making candles because I was just stressed out and I needed something to relax. And I wanted to create a luxury brand that centered around self-care. And you know what, you deserve nice things. So we provide luxury sensory experiences, whether it's through our candles, whether it's through our body products. And now we ventured out into so many other avenues. But overall, Black Sunflower is just based around self-care.
Now, when you say self-care, I think everyone's self-care is so different. Like sometimes it's just binge watching Power, which I'm about 3 episodes behind. Other times it's taking a walk. Outside of candles, I am curious, what is self-care for Jazz?
Gosh, you know what? It's really interesting that you asked that question because right now even though my brand is built around self-care, it blew up so quickly that I did not have the opportunity to really take time for myself. And at this time, I'm reestablishing what self-care actually means to me and honestly what success means to me because when things happen so quick, I felt I had to keep up with the customer demand that I put myself on the back burner. And I felt a little hypocritical. Like, how am I out here toting self-care when I am getting 3-4 hours of sleep and I'm running rampant? So self-care means to me is reestablishing what it is in your life that truly makes you happy, what makes you thrive. And right now, that's reestablishing my surroundings, the people that are in my life, people that help build me up, people that help move me forward within taking care of my son, being able to spend extra time with him, being able to sit down and do stuff and not worry about keeping up with customer demands. Because as much as I love and appreciate my customers, I need to really focus on me. And if I am whole, then I can move forward. So, yeah.
Yeah. So tell me this, when it came to your self-care and doing your candles, was that ever part of it during the beginning stages?
Oh yeah, I would pour candles in complete silence, and in the beginning, I would pour like in my little 2 bedroom apartment in downtown Seattle. I was pouring 100 candles or so a day.
Yeah.
Apartment would be completely quiet, and I have this rule that I do not burn candles if I'm in a bad mood, because to me, it's like I'm literally putting my energy into a product, and people are then burning my energy in their home. So I don't care, Jazmin. I don't care if I have 200 candles I need to make. If you have a bad attitude, you better fix that attitude and then go make those candles. And I think some people may feel it's a little too whooshy or whatever, but I feel one of the reasons my business has been so successful is because the amount of love and care that I actually put into my products. I'm so particular with my products. The number of reject candles that I have is crazy. You've seen them. Like, I have so many of them because I take really a lot of pride in what I do, not just physically, but the emotions and the feelings and the love and care that go into my products and everything that I do.
I am curious to know how have you like come up with some of your like signature scents, if you will?
Oh gosh.
Because my favorite is cashmere, and everybody knows that I love a good cashmere trail.
Yes, that her
is her.
Her is a schmood. People ask me all the time, like, what is it? I was like, her is one of those fragrances, you know, like when you go to the mall and people are like, here, try this, and they like roll their eyes and they just try it just to make you feel good. But then when people smell it, and that same goes for honey, people are like, oh wait, no, I need this. How do I come up with them? I have over 300 scents, and I guess I would consider that part of my self-care. I have over 300 samples, and I have a box of them, like candles or scents that I just love. And I just go through and I sniff them and whatever comes to mind. And a lot of the names, people are like, how do you come up with the names? It's just like conversations we have. How many times are we talking? I'm like, oh, wait, that's a good name. And I'll go ahead and write it down.
Or a good combo. You'd be like, you know what?
Exactly. And so I think it's really just my personality. And people are like, well, did you study it? Yes. After a while, like when I started, because I really wanted to be really good at what I did. I told you, I just started making candles as a hobby. So I studied aromatology. What is the correlation between fragrance and emotions and psychology and how people move? If you have the right fragrances, honestly, I mean, we know somebody's walked past you that smells amazing and your whole head turns and your whole mood changes.
Definitely happened while I was in Hawaii. I was literally just walking through the hallways, getting ready to go down to the radio broadcast. And, you know, they walk through the hallways. They're like the bellhops or like different like people that are like cleaning the rooms. And they always say aloha. So the guy was like, oh, aloha. I was like, hey. And then like I was ashy because I just have a tendency to like walk and have to put on lotion because I don't know what my malfunction is, but it just doesn't seem to happen while I'm actually in my room.
No.
And I like put some honey on and he goes, aloha. I was like, hey. And he goes, that smells good.
And that's
like,
what I want to do.
He literally just stopped in his tracks and was like, that smells good. I was like, thank you.
And that's what happens all the time. Like, and people are like, wait, how do you come up with that? I was like, it's just a feeling. Like, I just know. And people are like, well, do you ask other people if these smells are right? I was like, no. None of my fragrance have I ever asked for a second opinion. I've come up with the fragrance. I said, this is it. This is what it's going to be.
So are you like really I don't want to say in the kitchen, but are you really in the kitchen being like a little dab of this, write that down, a little couple dabs of that, write that down?
It's a lab. I'm in there whipping it up.
Do you have any like recommendation like books for anyone or like any YouTube channels or something that someone could look into? Because I think that it's so easy for someone to see someone like you to and maybe they just go on to BLK Sunflower's Instagram right now and it's like, I can do that. But it's like the smells that you bring out with, again, like with her, like I would just like sit that in my bathroom and I don't even necessarily have to light it for you to be able to smell it. You know, honey, like if I go somewhere and now that people know about honey, somebody will be like, smells like honey in here. Yes. Like, you know what I mean? So do you have any recommendations of people that like books that people can look into or YouTube channels that they can watch so that way they can actually get some aromatherapy lessons? Because I think that's a big deal. Like it's so easy to go to like a Bath and Body Works and make like, you know, a sweet pea or go to like Bath or Victoria's Secret and make a love spell. But when you're coming up with your own signature scents, I think that research is so important. And I think people are just in the kitchen really just dumping things and they're not understanding the science behind it.
Yeah, well, I literally would just Google the science of fragrance, the science of smells, aromacology. It's funny when you type it into like anything, it'll come up as it's spelled wrong, but it really is a study, aromacology. They have aromacologists who study the psychology of smell, the psychology of fragrance and emotion, study all of those, and then the chemistry behind the makeup of not only how different fragrances blend. So even when you go out to purchase your own fragrance, everyone hears top, middle, bottom notes. A lot of people don't even know what that means.
I don't.
Top. Okay, well, here we go. Sounds like we got a little mini lesson here. I actually just did a fragrance bar at one of the apartment communities down here on Saturday where I taught them how to pick out your own fragrance. And so I'm going to give you guys a little tippy tip. If you're out here trying to pick up a fragrance, you go to a counter and you spray something, and that initial smell that you smell is the top note. It's usually light. It's usually like a citrus or a very sweet smell. And you initially like, ooh, I like this fragrance. Stop. Do not buy the fragrance when you just spray it. At the counter, they're going to try to make you buy it right then and there, spray it, and walk away. A good 10 minutes, then you're going to start smelling that middle note. That middle note is about 40 to 80% of what's going to actually come through and what you're going to smell on a regular on your candle. And those are usually made up of your florals, like your roses, your jasmines, and that's a lot of what you're smelling in cashmere, because a lot of people don't realize cashmere is just a fancy word for vanilla and jasmine. People don't realize that. Yes, ma'am. And then you have the bottom notes. That's like the hearty, like I wouldn't really say it's the base. It's so funny. The middle note is actually the base because that's what you smell note a lot. The bottom note is what I would like to call it's like the hardiness of a fragrance. And it's usually like your woods, your oaks and your redwoods, things like that. And so when you're purchasing a fragrance, those top, middle, and bottom notes, there's reasonings that they're there, and to be able to know what to combine. So let's say you're trying to blend a fragrance and you're blending a bunch of citruses and a fruity scents, it's not going to be the same. It's not going to be as strong because you don't have any of those hardier scents underneath to actually pull the fragrance up. So if you learn anything from this interview, when you go to purchase those expensive fragrances, do not purchase the fragrance right after you sprayed it. Spray it, walk away, then come back. Because have you ever purchased something and you got home and later you're like, I really don't like it. It doesn't smell the same.
Or it fades.
That
you
part.
know, like that. So some people don't know this, child. But I used to work at Victoria's Secret. And before I started working in the fitting room, I worked in the garden, which is where they have all of their candles and their scents. And eventually I had to get out of the garden area because my allergies were like, girl, this is a no for me.
It's not for me.
This ain't it. But while I was in there were like different fragrances that people hated. Okay, like they would be like, this doesn't smell good, nobody ever likes it. And so I just started spritzing them on me, just trying them out. And the ones that people did not like the most would smell so good on me with my body chemistry.
Exactly.
So speaking of body chemistry, because literally there was like this one, they were like, oh, this smells like old lady. And then one day I sprayed it and did the same thing that you said, walked away for about 10 minutes. And I was like, okay, let's see what this smells like once it mixes with my body chemistry. And then I would walk up to people and be like, what do you think this is? And then they would be like, I don't know what that is. And I would point to it. They'd be like, shut up. And I'm like, my body chemistry is just different than yours. Exactly. So can we, since we're talking about body chemistry, or I just brought it up, Shal.
You do what you want, girl.
Honey.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I've definitely rubbed her on me before, but we digress. I've done it. It smells good. I've done it. I don't care.
And so I do what makes me happy. I do what I feel. Even I love my parents to death, but a lot of the moves that I made within BLK Sunflower, they told me not to do so many things. And if I listened to them, I would not be here right now. Down from renting out my space to certain candles that I made. They did not agree with a lot of things that I did. And I was like, that's fine. This is my life. This is what I'm going to do. And if I fall on my face, I'm going to dust myself off and I'm going to keep going. And we can't give up. We can't let other people dictate what we feel is going to be successful. We all have these little voices in our head that tell us what our next move is going to be. And if you feel confident and in your gut, you feel that's your next move, try it. So what if you quote unquote fail?
Community, it's been 3 years since we've been able to celebrate in person at our annual Evening of Choice. And this year at Access in Pioneer Square on October 19th at 6 p.m., we will be back together again, celebrating our journey, healing towards justice. This past couple of years have been incredibly difficult for our young people and our community at large. And one thing that has become clear and absolutely true is there's one way forward that brings all of us together, and that's as we heal. And when our young people heal, they're truly able to become who it is they've been purposed to be. So on this evening, you'll hear stories of our young people, hear the evolution of our organization as we emphasize healing in our cause. And together we will celebrate another year of impact and growth as we journey towards justice together. Again, it's at Access in Pioneer Square, 6 p.m. on October 19th, and live streaming will be available through YouTube at I Choose 180.
But honey is one of those scents where, you know, that was winning really when I was like, oh, she really be in the kitchen, like doing science. And one day I was like, how do you like come up with these scents? And you really said that it was science. So with honey, it's one of those scents where I do feel like it smells a little bit different on everyone, but it works for men and it works for women. How did honey come about? And let everybody know a little more about it that don't know about honey. Because again, we go to parties, we walk in, people be like, ooh, it smells like honey in here.
We went to the Seahawks game. And people are like, what? Seahawks
smell?
Are winning, but people are worried about what we smell like. So honey is my little child of, I needed something different. I am the queen of a pivot, I will tell you. And I was like, I want a body oil. I want a body oil. So I go into my fragrances and I knew I wanted something unisex. And one thing that a lot of both men and women like are jasmine. A lot of people also don't realize vanilla is a natural aphrodisiac for men. So a lot of stuff with vanilla undertones, men are wondering why they like it. I added that in there. And then bergamot. Bergamot, a lot of people don't realize, is a baby orange. And it's just a little orange. It's not actual baby orange, but it's a version of an orange that's just really tiny. And it's that citrus. And then just the combination of those.
I would have never known that there was citrus.
There is citrus in it, and it doesn't smell citrusy.
Because I'm wearing it.
Exactly. And so, and then before that, you have the fragrance. But the fragrance is amazing. But then also the oil combination, that was a science. I know we've all tried body oils where we put them on and they're oily and greasy. It rubs right in. Mm-hmm. I went to go get my tattoo, and granted, yes, I just got a bunch of ink stabbed into me, but I couldn't take his healing cream that had all these ingredients I couldn't describe. I was like, I'll use my own stuff, right?
Okay.
It healed my tattoo so well. It barely itched, and I had that base for a while. And then once I was like, you know what? Let me combine that fragrance I had with this oil and see what happens. And honey was born. Honey was magical. Born. And everyone who smells it falls in love. Once again, so many people will roll their eyes like, okay, I guess I'll smell it just to make you feel good. And then they put it on and they're like, wait, what is this? And I'm like, it's honey. Wait, one time I was at an event and this lady puts it on, didn't even know what it was called. She's rubbing it in. She goes, oh, honey. I said, that's what it's called. She was like, quit playing. I was like, yes. And I showed her. She's like, no way. She's like, I need four. And it's like, it's one of those things where, whew.
Honey is one of those things where when you run out of it, or at least when I run out of it, I'm like, when are you coming back to Seattle? Yeah. I need more honey.
My 9-year-old wears it to school. My 9-year-old wears
honey to school. I put it in my hair. I put it on everything.
I know.
But, you know, I think I kind of want to talk a little more about, like, the pivot. You know what I mean? Like, going from candles to, like, in, you know, a scented oil, and it's even, like, in a body spray now. Mm-hmm. What made you be like, candles are cool, but let's try this oil thing?
Well, just in general, not just the oil. I started my business during a pandemic. Mm-hmm. And the landscape of what was going on in the world at that time, people needed comfort. Candles gave comfort, and it was great. But as a business owner, you really have to forecast and see what's going to happen next. So not just making candles, I'm in the news, I'm looking at economic reports, I'm looking at my own data and seeing, okay, these are the trends, and how do I jump on something or I create something before this trend starts to die off? So as we all know, the economic stability of the country right now is kind of a little bit in shambles. People are not purchasing things as much. I figured this was coming. So I was like, let me position myself. So I had the candles. Candles are seasonal. You have your holidays where people buy a ton of candles. There's some data that says that a lot of people buy candles in summer. I do really well with my candle company. Candles don't do well in summer. I needed something to to supplement that. So I came out with my body line. So we have Body by Black Sunflower. So even with that, I wanted to implement all the things that I love. So then I also have the Garden by Black Sunflower, where I have plants that I do with all of my corporate clients. I'm working on my Vessels by Black Sunflower. It's very, very important as a business owner, and it is okay. There are some people who would think that, oh, she's doing too much or she can't keep her eye on one thing. It's not that. One, my personality, it's hard for me to just focus on one thing. I'm not happy focusing on one thing. But two, I don't care what people think. And I'm ready, and I know that I have done my research, and I know my next move. And let's say my next move falls flat on its face. So what? I tried. I did more than the person that's just sitting there looking. And that's what I want people to recognize. Like, I was reading a book, and I wish I could say this quote was mine, and it's not. But they were like, people are so worried about what other people are going to think about their next moves. Think about this. Would those people be at your funeral? Why are you worried about people who wouldn't even come to your funeral? And so I do what makes me happy. I do what I feel. Even I love my parents to death, but a lot of the moves that I made within Black Sunflower, they told me not to do so many things. And if I listened to them, I would not be here right now. Down from renting out my space to certain candles that I made. They did not agree with a lot of things that I did. And I was like, that's fine. That this is my life. This is what I'm going to do. And if I fall on my face, I'm going to dust myself off and I'm going to keep going. And we can't give up. We can't let other people dictate what we feel is going to be successful. We all have these little voices in our head that tell us what our next move is going to be. And if you feel confident and in your gut, you feel that's your next move, try it. So what if you quote unquote fail?
Well, it's like you've already failed if you haven't tried it.
That part. And
and
what if you
wrote
lie?
it off? Like, you didn't even
course.
try. Like, I tell everybody all the time, I got in radio by just asking. The window
part.
that I knocked on was a sliver just like that. And I was like, hey.
See?
What do I? And if I just said, nah, we wouldn't be sitting right here now 3 years later. You know what I'm saying? So definitely
3
give
years?
it a try. Yeah.
3 years.
Maybe even more than 3 years. I started October 2018.
That's so dope. That's so
Yeah.
dope.
Yeah.
That is so dope. And yeah, I want people to be inspired. And also, it's not going to be easy. Like, it's not going to be easy at all. But it's possible. I started Black Sunflower when I launched my website April 10th, 2020. I maybe had $500 in my bank account. And people are like, oh, you need so much money to get your business started. No, I started it from nothing. And I've grown it to what it is today. And we're just getting started.
I definitely want to talk about the Academy soon. But before then, I want to talk about the connections and the moves that you've been able to make out here in Seattle by just being yourself and just knocking on those doors and asking questions. You know, so many people say that it's so hard to like get into Seattle, if you know what I mean, or to make connections in Seattle or to meet people in Seattle. And as a Seattleite, I'm just like, I don't understand why it's so hard for you guys. But for someone like yourself, when you're saying, you know, like, I'm just now getting introduced into Seattle, what would you say are some tips for people to maneuver this city and not have this whole, oh, Seattle has a freeze? Yes, it does, but it's not that damn frozen, you guys.
It's really not. Within a year and a half, the connections that I've made within Seattle and the things that I have been able to accomplish. Besa, let's even say you. Like, Besa was in my DMs talking about she saw my YouTube video, and I'm sitting there and I was about to host an event. I was like, I'm going to shoot my shot. All I did was say, hey, do you want to host my event? What's your rate? She gave me the rate. I said, bet, let's go. And that's one thing right there. You can't be afraid to pay people what they're worth, because in order to even create that friendship, I don't think we would be here right now if I turned around and said, ooh, that's too much. What about? No, people are in certain positions for a reason. They've worked hard to get there. I'm going to pay people what they're worth. And sometimes in order to get into these spaces, you have to pay. You have to pay. But once you get into these spaces, and I don't want you to feel like, oh, I'm not trying to pay for people's friendships. It's not paying for people's friendship. It's opening up these spaces. And one of my friends, she says, network up. Don't network laterally. You need to network up. And to get into these spaces where you need to network up, they cost money, point blank, period. And you can't be afraid to go in. You can't be afraid to open your mouth. You can't be afraid to present yourself. And one thing I'm personally working on is showing up as what people see me as. I've realized that I've created so much and I've made a wave that I still don't, and it happened so quickly, I still don't really see how other people see me. But when I hear people or how people interact or introduce me to other people, I'm like, okay, I am making these moves. I have made an impression on people. I am being myself. I am speaking up. I am showing that I'm actually here for not just me. I'm here for everyone. There are so many people, as you know, that I have put on to so many things. I'm always pulling from different resources. Hey, you need to talk to this person. You need to talk to that person. A year and a half ago, I knew a fraction of the people that I know now. And I'm just getting started with that as well. And I'm thankful for you. And it's really funny as we go into places and you have never introduced me really to anybody. You have said, here's the room.
Bye.
Bye. We go to places and then we won't see each other for a good hour or so. And then we meet back up. And she's like, do you have a good time? Yeah, this one, Matt. Yep. All right, let's go. And that's how I feel that, and get you friends that aren't afraid to speak up. Get you friends who, like, we went to an event and I knew you were pulling up in a in a nice vehicle. I went over to the photographer. I was like, hey, yo, Besa's pulling up in this vehicle. We need to get some pictures of her. The photographer was like, did I know the photographer before that? I did not. Nope. But before she pulled up, I saw it was a photographer. I went to him and I just made conversation. Dope person. I got to see his pictures. And so now when I have an event later, I have another photographer in my pocket. Like, when you go to these spaces, it's not all about, let me grab my drink, let me go chat with my friends. My friends are going to be there. Let me go see the people that I have not spoken to before. I want to talk to that person that's at the door. I want to talk to this bartender. I want to talk to the people who are going to help me build my empire.
And then also, this is something that we talk about all the time. And I hate this word because, like, people started really talking about it on Real Housewives of Atlanta when Candy got with her husband Todd, and her mom was like, he's an opportunist. And she was like, he was a part of the production crew. What are you talking about? Like, he already had his own things going on. So, something that you and I always talk about in terms of, especially with creating that circle to where you're like networking up, because the people that I work the closest with now have become like friends of mine, and we're able to do things together. We're able to have conversations. Like, sometimes we will be on the phone for like 2 hours, but we come up with so many different ideas through those hours. And like, you're going through emails and you're like, oh, what should I do here? What should I do there? Or I'm thinking about this. And I'm like, well, why don't you do that? And you're like, oh my God, you know what I'm saying? So it's always interesting to me when people say, oh, this person's an opportunist, or don't be an opportunist. But my whole thing is, why do I have you around me if we can't do anything together? If we can't, so we're just supposed to go out and have drinks all the time, and we're supposed to like smoke weed every day? Like, that's not, at least in my life, a productive friendship.
No, it's not. It's not. I need people in my life that I can pull from and that can pull from me, and that we can benefit each other. Or I see that, oh my God, this person has potential and I see they're not quite there yet. Hey, yo, come over here. Let's chat. Like, I see you making moves. Like, have you ever thought about XYZ? I want people in my circle who are not afraid to make stuff happen. And that could help me when, like I said, most of the time when we are on the phones for the hour or two, we're working. And like you said, oh, I'm writing this email. I don't know how to write. Can you reword this email for me? Okay, cool, bet. Those are the people that I want in my life, because if you're networking up, they always say it's so cliche, your network is your net worth. And it's so true. Just was it a month ago, I was in Atlanta, and within 72 hours, I made so many connections in 72 hours, because when I was there, I went out by myself. I looked up places where the people that I want to meet were hanging out. And I'm still talking. I met so many people in Atlanta that I was like, wow, that was way too easy. And I don't get it when some people are like, oh, I can't meet people. Yes, you can. And I know it can be terrifying to meet new people. But what's the worst thing? They're already a stranger. If they turn you down, is it really going to hurt you?
No.
If you never see this person again, is it really going to bother you?
You will be fine.
You will be fine. But they turn around and they're like, yes, I will host your event. And next thing you know, we're sitting here. Yeah. Well, a year or so later. But still, actually, it hasn't even been that long. It hasn't even been that long? It was April.
Yeah. It's been like 5 months.
What?
It's because we talk so so damn much and we text so
What?
often.
I thought it was longer than that.
No, because think about it. I went to Belize in November and I didn't even know you then.
Wow. Revelation.
Yeah.
Okay.
Time moves fast when you're being productive.
That part, we've accomplished a lot in this short amount of time.
We really have.
Okay, well, I'm having a reflection moment right now.
And you guys just seen it on video.
Wow. Okay, let me drink some water after that. Cheers.
Cheers.
Meow. My dream has always been to have a business academy. And when I started BLK Sunflower, from the beginning, I knew that as much as I like candles, this is not going to be my end all. And cheers.
So, okay. Don't feel like you are an opportunist unless you just don't have anything to bring to the table. And in that case, you are.
Mic drop. That part right there.
To wrap up that little segment. Because those are things that we always talk about. I think the most people that are like, oh, this person's an opportunist or I don't want to feel like an opportunist. It's like, well, are you at least bringing some silverware to the table?
That part.
Can you buy some if you don't have any? Are you willing to learn something? Are you willing to be helpful? I feel like that's when people feel like they're being opportunists because they can't bring anything or help out with anything. And all they can do is take. But the academy. Let's talk about the academy because, one thing about you is that you are a really good teacher. Like, you are like this information hub because you're always looking things up. And then you ended up starting your academy. Tell us a little bit more about the academy and why you really started the academy and what's in it.
Okay. So my dream has always been to have a business academy. And when I started BLK Sunflower, from the beginning, I knew that as much as I like candles, this is not going to be my end all. And whenever I get readings, they were like, candles aren't you. And I don't tell them anything. They're like, this is just a starting point. I get so much joy out of helping other people win. And some people are like, that's not true. No, I feel even more like joy and just excitement from seeing somebody accomplish something they didn't think that they were able to do than me doing my own stuff, because that takes a lot to be able to teach somebody. So the academy was part of my 3-year plan. I had a video hit YouTube. I think it's at like 1.4 million views right now. It's on Upflip, and they just went over my whole, how I started my business, the processes, everything. And from there, I've got a lot of people who want help. And I have so much going on. Unfortunately, I'm not able to help everyone individually. So the universe is like, you need to start this academy now. So I started the academy at the beginning of January. We started just teaching basic classes through Eventbrite, just because I need to get something going. And that's another thing I want people to realize. You don't have to wait till things are perfect to get something started. Most people would be like, okay, I have to sit down, make out this whole plan. How's this academy going to go? No, I was up and honest with people. I'm starting this academy. You guys are growing this academy with me. So things are going to change. We've changed platforms 3 times. We're now on our final platform, which is amazing. It's like a Facebook without the ads and all the extra mumbo jumbo that goes on in there.
Nice.
So we started now we're on our official academy or official platform. Within the academy, we teach everything. I literally just posted before we came in here. I'm getting October and November's classes together. I had 4 classes I already wanted to teach, but I let people know, let me know what you want to learn in the next 2 months and let's get these classes started. Before we came on, there were so many messages in there. I think we're at 70 people in the academy now.
Nice.
And with this new platform, we've only been established really for a month, which is crazy. And people are active and learning. So some of the major classes, one of my favorite is Instagram ads for sales and followers. I grew BLK Sunflower from Instagram ads. I did not have a bunch of followers. When I launched my website, I had 25 followers. And these are people I tricked into being my followers by like, hey, take a picture with me so you can get a 20% discount off your candles and we'll post it. But a lot of those people still rock with me, which is amazing. They still rock with me. The OGs. They even know Black Sunflower actually has a secret menu that a lot of people don't know about. Yes, and only the OGs know about it. They know exactly what to ask for an order, but I digress.
I do have some secret items. Let me not even play.
Exactly. Right. Don't act like you don't know. Instagram ads for sales and followers, where we actually walk you through how to produce an Instagram ads that's going to get you sales and followers. So if anyone tells you Instagram ads don't work, it's a lie. I built my entire business off of Instagram ads. We do how to price your products, wholesale for beginners. We just had how to set up your Shopify store, where I literally went through Shopify step by step and showed them every tab and how to get the Shopify store going. And there's so much in there. We're actually about to do a second class because we went over like an hour and a half. Well, it was like hour and a half class, and we still had so much more to cover. What else do we have? Good Lord. Anything that you can think of, how to do wholesale. Because a lot of people have the misconception that Black Sunflower just survives off of blacksunflower.com, and that is a lie. Black Sunflower survives off of my corporate contracts. I have corporate contracts with several apartment communities in the area, wholesales. It's the big bucks. It's not chasing the little sales. So if you're in e-commerce, I want you to really refocus or take a moment tonight and think about, how can I really expand my business? It is the wholesale. You want to do everything in bulk. Do more or do less and get more.
Come on, do less.
Do less and get more. Within the academy, that's where I offer my consultations. Everybody wants a one-on-one consultation. I do not have the time or the capacity to even do one-on-ones with everyone. And so instead of me charging $200 an hour for a consultation, how about I give you a platform where you can learn everything that you need? And then within the academy, I have 20 minutes for $25. You can meet with me and we can talk about the things that are specific to your business because you've already learned everything else.
And that's what's so important. I think, when people hit you up and they're like, hey, Jazz, I need you to help me start my business, they are so at the beginning that they don't even know the right things to ask. And I think the great thing about the academy is that they're able to actually go in and ask you, like, okay, she's taught me how to do this. She's taught me okay, this is my question about Shopify because I didn't understand that. This is my question about, picking vessels or whatever. This is my question about, specific question rather than, hey, can you brain dump to me right now? Exactly. And it's like, I don't even know where to start. Like, I think that people don't realize that if their questions are not actually specific, or you're just like, you don't even really know what to ask, I don't know what to tell you because I'm just going to give you maybe 5 or 6 things real quick, when in reality you have a specific question that you didn't even know was actually your specific question because you ain't done no research yet.
Yeah. And then I always tell people, even when I was training, I'm not here to waste your money or my time. I want everything that I offer to be efficient. I want it to be affordable because people within the academy, they're like, Jazmin, you could charge a lot more for that. Yeah, I know I could, but that's what I'm here for. Starting a business is hard. Money is tight. I am here to provide a service to help people move forward and talk about accessibility. We're chatting like we're a fam. Actually, tonight we have once a month, we have the wind down. Sorry, Issa. Yes, I stole your wind down name. It was great. It should be okay. But we have the wind down where we just come in and we talk about how it is to be an entrepreneur, struggles, successes, because as an entrepreneur, it can get lonely. And just having that group of people who understand, who are going through the same thing as you're going through, it really breeds a sense of community. I've been really busy the past 2 weeks. And when I tell you it's growing to become such a family, they were running the academy without me. Mm-hmm. And that is so dope. And I'm also in there encouraging people. Everyone has a specialty. Just because I started the academy, it's not my academy. It's our academy. So I have people in there who are fluid in IT, people who are even better at teaching and have taught 100 people in corporate America that are in there helping me out. I have a guy who's amazing at color psychology and creating branding. And I'm bringing all these people in and allowing them opportunities to shine as well. So I have people in the academy who they're presenting to me classes that they want to teach, and they're going to teach classes as well. It's an entire community. And so it's, as you see how I lit up talking about the academy. Like, I like my candles, but this academy, like, it's in my heart. It's my baby. It is all my joy. And I just want people to understand that things are possible. And when you find a community of like-minded people that just want to win and succeed like you do, like the sky's the limit.
Well, and that, like, you literally have, it's like a hub of people that want to make money. It's a hub of people that want to do business. It's a hub of people that actually want to learn rather than just, I'm going to ask you a million questions and I don't even have a actual centered question because I haven't even like started my own research.
Yeah.
Academy, talked about that. We've talked about honey. We've talked about candles. What does Jazz have going on right now? Because you do have some changes, show.
I have a lot of changes. And this camera right here, this one?
Yeah.
All right. So, and a lot of people are going to be shocked. They're like, what? And I'm explain. So Black Sunflower has officially closed her shop. Black Sunflower has officially closed her shop. And what does that put? Are you not making candles anymore? Yes, I am still making candles. So with that, let's kind of go back to the beginning of this conversation where I talked about self-care and taking care of yourself and success. That Black Sunflower ran up so quickly that I spent all of my time trying to keep up with the demand that I ran myself crazy. I was working for Black Sunflower. Black Sunflower ran me. Black Sunflower was supposed to be my company, but no, Black Sunflower was running me. And I got to the point where I was like, I can't continue doing this because most businesses fail within the first 4 years because they're creating processes and habits that are not sustainable. If I continued running, even though it was bringing in the money, it was not sustainable. And I need to find a way to pivot. So by closing the shop and I'm going to switch the entire business model of Black Sunflower, we're going to limited release. What does that mean? I will release the candles on a limited basis here and there once a month. I don't know, maybe not. It just really depends, and really tap into the limited release market because it allows me to gain back control over my business. Like I said, I redefine what success means to me, and success doesn't mean me pumping out 1,000, 1,500 candles a month like I was doing before. That's not what I want to do anymore. Success to me is doing what makes me most happy and is allowing me more time to live my life. So by moving to limited release within Black Sunflower, I can then focus on what my passion is. And even as I'm starting to say it, the smile is coming on my face, which is the Academy. And so clearing up this time that I can focus on the Academy and other ventures that I have in the works. So I have Vessels by Black Sunflower where I will start selling candle vessels, and I have a lot of custom colors and things that I'm coming out with, which is going to be amazing. Even better, they will be available for local pickup, and we all know that shipping is ridiculous. Anybody that's in the candle business knows shipping is ridiculous. That's coming. And really working more on my events. I have a lot of speaking engagements that I'm planning in the works, not just in Seattle. I have them across the country. So I really want to create a very sustainable, easy to use model that doesn't create a lot of overhead within Black Sunflower candles so that I now can move and create and get these other businesses flowing. So because it moves so quickly, I was never really able to establish just a solidified process and system within Black Sunflower. And so by closing my shop down, limiting the amount of overhead that I have with employees, limiting the amount of products I need to purchase, and not having tons of liquid assets on hand, I'm able then to put the money into other avenues to create what I feel would be success for me.
What's so great about this is that, like you said, you would have different readers saying that, these candles is good, but this isn't really what you want to do. You wouldn't be able to have this Academy that brings you so much joy had you have not done so much in Black Sunflower to begin with. Had you have not started with the candles and then moved over and adding in honey and like the body products and then adding in the Academy and then being like, you know what, let's see how this works. And then you were like, wait, I really like this. But you had to start somewhere to get where you actually want it to be. And I think that's so important because sometimes people see like what happens at the end, right? Say somebody follows you like 5 years from now and all they see is the Academy. But they don't realize you started with like $500 in your account making candles, and then you added on and then decided, okay, about a year or so later, now I don't want, like, the candles will still be there, but it's almost like secondary, if you will.
It is. It is. And you know what it kind of reminds me of? I'm dropping it. It reminds me of Gary Vee. He started off with his wine, and the wine was his big thing. And a lot of people who follow him now, they're like, oh, he does wine. Like, if you followed him, he still does it. Yeah, it's still there, but it's not his main thing. His main thing is education and business and inspiration and like getting your life together. And so that's what it kind of reminded me of. And yeah, it was sort of an inspiration there. I was like, you know what? You don't have to stick to one thing. And some people, I've heard it plenty of times, like, you do too much. Do I do too much though?
Or do you just not do enough?
Exactly. And it's because some people are scared. Stop living your life based upon fear. I think of fear as an electric fence that's in your head. But the joke's on you. That fence is turned off, but you won't cross that fence because you're afraid you're going to get electrocuted. But you can step right over it. Nothing's going to happen to you. And so I'm like, you guys, you can get so much more accomplished if you just step out off of fear. Like, don't let fear guide your life, because at the end of my life, I refuse to sit on my deathbed with all these shoulda, woulda, couldas. That's the last thing I'm going to do. I'm going to live my life to the fullest. I'm going to accomplish everything that I want to accomplish. I'm going to bring amazing people with me as I do it. And if I fall on my face, so what? Like, we're going to laugh about it. You're like, you remember that one time I tried to do that one thing and it failed? Yeah, that was hilarious.
Won't do that again. But at least now know you know.
Right. It'll make for amazing, like, story material to my grandchildren. Like, yeah, one time I tried this and my grandma, that was stupid. I know. But I tried it.
Yeah. You know, and it's so interesting. When retrograde was first starting, I was doing like a Reiki, and like one of the downloads I got was, I have to stop being so afraid of my higher self. Because that girl has goals. And sometimes you'll see these visions and it can be scary. And then you kind of get in this moment of talking yourself out of doing different things, to where it's like, you know that you need to respond to this email, but for some reason anxiety hits and then you don't want to. But sometimes I feel like those are the moments where it's like pivotal, if you will, in your life, to where it's like, if you respond, then this is going to happen. If you don't, well, you're just going to sit on this couch
and get nothing accomplished. Not live the life. So yeah, it's a lot of changes going on. I'm not scared. Feel relieved, honestly. I feel like the biggest weight has been lifted off of my shoulders. I mean, you've seen it. My attitude has been completely different the past few weeks. What I thought was my anxiety is, and a lot of people realize it, and I mentioned this to you, a lot of people say, oh, I have anxiety. Do you really have anxiety, or are you just overwhelmed? And once you can decipher whether you're anxious or you're overwhelmed, okay, now that I've identified I'm overwhelmed, what do I do to unoverwhelm myself? Is that even a word? Well, it's a word today.
It is right now.
I decide what I need to do to unoverwhelm myself. What was that? Find what really and truly makes me happy. My academy. What is overwhelming me and putting too much work on my plate right now? My candles. Do I want to take them off, stop them? No. How can I cut back to make it more manageable so that I can do everything that I love as a whole? And so that's why we're here. And I am so excited for what the rest of this year is going to bring. And 2023, ooh, Lord child, I have so much in store. I just can't wait.
I can't wait either. I mean, like, it's just one of those things where I think you have gotten to a point where you really are, like, as O always says, listen to the little voice. That little voice will tell you, girl, it's not that you need to stop this, but you're not going to run yourself a little rugged if you don't figure out what you really want to do. And you figured out what you really wanted to do and what really makes you happy. And it's not that you don't want to do candles. You just don't want candles to have to be your life.
That part. That's exactly it.
So
with any business, you find a need or something that people are missing. And because I was in property management for so long, it was easy for me to identify it. Even most of us in Seattle live in an apartment building of some sort. What's something that's missing? Go take them a sample down.
Hey there, it's Trey Holiday. And of course, Besa and I had to take a trip back to Market Street Shoes to grab some items. They always know what to show us. And let me tell you, we both spent quality time to be sure we collected some amazing additions to our wardrobes. They have some of the most unique bags, shoes, and accessories. I mean, the whole shebang. It's always a good time when I get to shop with my girl Besa. Make sure you go check out Market Street Shoes, y'all, and you too can walk out with some dope gear.
We're going to do a little game I called 6 Randoms with Besa.
Dun, dun, dun.
6 randoms. So first question, what is your number one don't when it comes to doing Facebook or Instagram ads?
The number one don't not know who you're selling to. How in the world are you going to put up an Instagram or a Facebook ad if you're selling to everyone? I hate it when people tell me, I'm like, oh, so who are you selling this glass to? Everyone. That's a lie. You can't sell everything to everyone. So don't not know who you're selling to.
Okay, next question. Damn it, I lost it. So I'll switch it. What is your favorite fragrance?
Honey. Honey is hands down my favorite. So I have fragrance. I poured fragrance in my dish soap. Okay. I put honey everywhere. Okay. I drop some in my shampoo, in my conditioner. Lord child. Me and honey. That's it.
What advice do you have for people that want for their candles or some form of a product to actually be within apartments and different condos and buildings like yours?
How to do it? You get out and you talk to people. With any business, you find a need or something that people are missing. And because I was in property management for so long, it was easy for me to identify it. Even most of us in Seattle live in an apartment building of some sort. What's something that's missing? Go take them a sample down. Now, most apartment buildings, you technically aren't supposed to burn candles, so they're going to tell you no. But a diffuser, a body spray, a room spray, something like that. Go down and just be nice. Drop off samples. Don't be afraid to give away stuff. I give away so much stuff, and then they come back wanting more. Mm-hmm. Like, don't be afraid. So yes, go down, talk to people, hand out samples, go back, check in. That's how you do it. We said network.
If we're talking self-care, what is your comfort food?
Oh, Lord. At this very moment, my comfort food, French fries. I love French fries. I don't even know why I thought about it. That was dumb.
I don't know why I thought you were going to say noodles.
You know what? It has been noodles lately. Oh my God! Why did I forget? Yeah, that's bad. That's
I
bad.
thought you were gonna say noodles, but
it should be noodles because I definitely have had way more noodles than French fries. It's noodles. You're right. I was wrong. I don't know what my comfort food is. You know it.
I just know what you cook when you come to my house. Where's your pot?
Yeah, I just need some noodles. Like, do you want a drink? No, I just need these noodles. Talk to me after the noodles are done.
Maybe it is fries, though. Maybe noodles are just what's convenient.
Probably. When I don't want to eat out, I usually just go for noodles because a pack of noodles you can make anywhere.
What is your favorite audiobook?
Oh, gosh. Secrets of the Millionaire Mind by T. Harv Eker. Man, if you do not know what your money blueprint is, because when I started BLK Sunflower, I said, oh, it'll be cute if I could pay my rent, pay part of my car note. That would be nice. I wanted the minimal of what I can get. God said, girl, hold my Everclear. I got a surprise for you. And obviously, they knew that I can hold more money. And so they were going to give me those opportunities. So Secrets of the Millionaire Mind will teach you everything that we have been conditioned to think about money and wealth, and just reevaluate how you move throughout the world. And once you say, you know what, money is safe with me, I can receive money, that money will come to you.
Yeah. What have you learned about yourself in running this business?
I learned that money is safe with me and I am resilient as I don't know what. I just hired people the beginning of this year. I accomplished everything with Black Sunflower pretty much by myself. My parents helped quite a bit in the beginning, but majority of everything, I did everything from marketing to branding to product development to sales, website development. Any and every avenue within this business I accomplished, and I was able to clear 7 figures in 2.5 years by myself. I'm resilient.
I know that's freaking right. I almost cussed on my damn shit.
I almost did too earlier. I had to catch myself. I was like, bite your tongue. Because I feel like I'm just talking. We're on the phone. So I was like, catch myself.
Last question, and you might need a sip of water for that.
Okay.
One misconception of Jazz.
One misconception of me. Oh, gosh. I'm going to be honest. That's a hard question. You know what? Let's go back to the opportunist. That some people think I'm just an opportunist. And I would like to say I'm an opportunist that looks for opportunities for everyone.
Yeah.
That's it.
These are facts.
And I will ride for the people that are in my circle. And I will make sure, like, oh, you need that? Let me see what I can do to make that happen with everything that I have going on. So, yes, outside, yeah, I am looking for people to help elevate me and the people around me. So, yeah, I'm an opportunist.
And everyone should be one. Just figure out what you can also bring to the damn table.
Exactly.
Stop showing up empty-handed.
Exactly. That part.
Shoot.
That was a good one. Ooh, you made me think.
I told you needed that sip of water, child. Well, this has been Amazeballs.
Yes.
Better than amazing. It's been Amazeballs.
Thank you.
Let everyone know where they can find you on social media, and if they want to join the academy, how can they do so?
Okay, so we have quite a few ways, but we're going to keep this nice and simple. If you want to check out my candles and everything that we have going on there, we have Black Sunflower Co. That's BLK Sunflower Co. If you want to check out the academy, we have Black Sunflower Academy, BLK Sunflower Academy. You can Google them. You can look them up on Instagram. And if you want to just check out and see what we have going on in the academy, actually tonight we have another class of Instagram ads for sales and followers. You can just go to that Black Sunflower Academy Instagram page and DM the word trial, and you will get access to a free 3-day trial of the academy. So you can check out this class and all of the stuff that we have in the video library that's going on, and just kind of see what we have going on, how the community is, and see if that's the right place for you. And if not, that is perfectly fine. I just want to let everyone know that that is a space that's there, a supportive space. And then you also have blacksunflower.com. Honestly, just Google Black Sunflower. It'll all come up, any and everything. It's all there for you.
Well, again, Jazz, I want to thank you for coming in with me and chit-chatting. And finally, we've talked about doing this for a minute, but I'm happy that we were able to do it now because I feel like this was perfect timing.
It was the most perfect timing, like with the big transitions that I have going on and just the headspace that I'm in and everything that's moving. Everything happens for a reason, and in due time. I appreciate you. I am proud of you. You have accomplished so much, and even keeping up with the Rewind with Besa, like, it's a lot of work, and I don't think people really give you the credit that you need for what you accomplish. And so you were killing it, girl, and keep up the good work.
Thank you. And so are you, Miss 7 Figures, child. In 2 years.
Hey.
Come on. Not even, it's like more than Black owned at this point. You know what I mean? Like, it's your business. Like, this is your empire.
I was going to say, it's an empire.
We're
building an empire, and I'm trying to bring people on.
Period.
That part.
So, with that being said, you guys, we are going to wrap up this episode. Of course, until next time, you guys already know what I'm going to say. 1, make sure you guys keep up with Jazz. Join the academy if you guys want to learn anything about how to start a business. But also, make sure that you have an amazing rest of your day. And, of course, keep that energy high.